Deanna, welcome. The floor is yours.
So I forgot all the things that I don't know if this works. I forgot all the things that she told me that she wanted from me. So instead I just wrote down a bunch of crap that has nothing to do with what she just said. No, I will talk about how to give a good interview. And Carlton McCaslin is actually a good example of that because he comes in character and he's lively and he has all of the information that you need and he tags it with contact information and everything, and he's usually really prepared. I just hand him a mic and walk away. So, similar to Tony DeMeo, but that usually goes on for 20 minutes. So I'm Deanna O'Donnell, KPVM TV, News 46, point 1234, Channel 41, you guys know it is, Cable 12. Since 1988, I've owned my own entertainment business, so more than just here and at the other station who we won't mention. I MC and disc jockey and coordinate parties and weddings and everything and videotape them forever. And so I worked at 2 television stations here locally, and I also worked in the accounting field for 12 years, and healthcare, and I was a salesperson at KPVM, and a lot of other various jobs. All right, so KPVM TV, I'm a news director, writer, editor, reporter, camera person, anchor. I like writing the best. Writing is my passion. It's always something I wanted to do. I went to school originally to get a degree in psychology, but I found that entertainment was more lively. Although my job kind of interacts a lot with the psychology that I was actually going for. I ran that entertainment business in California for many years, and then brought it up here. But then there's a lot of people not willing to spend a lot of money on entertainment. They don't have a lot of money in this town, and I wasn't really willing to go over the hill because I have 2 kids, and I was not really wanting to spend a lot of time away from them. My mother actually moved me up here. She's a real estate agent, and it's how I say that. The real estate agents always get you to move up here. And she was my real estate agent for my house, and she kidnapped me actually, and it was supposed to be temporary, but it lasted a little longer. I also had a half-an-hour show on the other station, and when I had that show, it was because I loved helping people, and that's what I like doing in the news. I hate a lot of the tragedies, but it seems like helping the people is what I really am trying to go for there. I learned that every horrible tragedy I had in my life, actually, there was a purpose in it, and that it actually, one day it occurred to me that there was a reason for all this, and it seemed to make it that it was okay, and that I had some meaning. I know that that a lot of people have had a lot of issues with the economy and businesses staying afloat and everything like that. And it shows me that when a business stays afloat in this hard economy, that there's some reason why the business is staying there. And I have a little bit of insight on why I think that sometimes that they are staying afloat. But I'm going to first talk about what I learned here in Pahrump. And I've learned about compassion and hope and resilience. And I also learned that when you have a business, and you've got to be obviously a resilient person, and that you've obviously have a good product or service and a good customer base to have lasted in this economy. And KPVM is one of those that has lasted, and I'm shocked that it lasted. It went from 5 people in our news department to me to a really great intern who is now my coworker, and I have a new intern that I've taken on, and he seems to be doing pretty well right now. And I put it to Vern Van Winkle that he's actually been able to keep reinventing himself so that we can stay afloat. And and of course people like Ryan Muccio here, who is our Superman sales guy. But one of the things that I learned mostly in here and with business is that honesty and integrity is really important to the public, to running your business, and that word of mouth really goes far. If you have a bad reputation in this town, it's everything. I mean, it's just everything. I can tell you so many times that people always say people are connected in this town, everybody knows everybody. It's really true. Yeah. I mean, so many times I will go and I'll be talking to somebody and it turns out that it's somebody's cousin or brother or whatever. And, you know, my daughter just started dating her first boyfriend, and it's Tony DeMayo's nephew, and I didn't even know. And yeah, I'm like, so sure, but yeah. So all I know is that at the end of the day, as a business person and as a news person, I just need to know that when you look at yourself in the mirror and you know that you're a decent person, you did your best. That's all that matters. When a customer comes to you to purchase the products and that you give them the best deal and the best service, that's what matters, especially in this town, because a lot of people here, you know, we try to support each other. Vegas doesn't really care about Pahrump, I hate to say that. And a lot of people go to Vegas for goods and services. And recently we had a person here who was really upset and hurt financially and emotionally because a brand new business here in town bought some products from Vegas. And that has only hurt him and his business and his employees, but also repurchasing things in this town. That's why, and I'm going to bring it back to KPVM, advertising locally is important. We have all sorts of different advertising media, internet, we have social media group, which is a new group that Berta started. Ryan will show you the little flyer thing there. And we make corporate DVDs, and we can put things up on the web for you, as well as print advertising and really cheap, inexpensive commercials that everybody can afford. And I can tell you that when I had my business in California and it did very well, it was because of advertising that it did so well. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was media relationships with businesses. We were talking about a good interview. One of the things that I'm always looking for with businesses and with events with businesses and getting information out there is I would like to have the people tell me about the event or what's going on in their business, and then remind me once again right before the event happens, because we're trying to you know, juggle 5 million things. A lot of media has different deadlines. I don't particularly like to do things after 2 p.m. because we're in crunch time. The Pahrump Valley Times doesn't like to do things on Tuesday and Thursday because they have the Wednesday paper and the Friday paper. The Mirror doesn't like to do things on Wednesday because Thursday's their crunch time. So whether or not whatever crunch time different media sources have, you notice I left out this particular station. We'll try to get our crunch time and get things out. One of the best ways to get things to me is to send me an email with an attachment that has like maybe your flyer or your JPEG, but on the front in the body of the email, just a couple lines that says the event and where it's at and what the contact information is, and then I can throw it really quickly from my computer to the teleprompter so that they can read it, and then we can show a picture as the attachment instead of sending me a really fancy flyer that I have to reformat and everything like that. It's way easier for me. Also, what was that? See, I gotta get off my thing here. All right, one way to get business into your customers into your business is to have events. There's a thing that we all know in the media, and that's if you guys keep having events, we keep showing up. And so if you do giveaways and have events and customer appreciation days and discounts, and you call us up at the station and you say, I have some, you know, a basket to give away, can you put it on the news? We will keep showing up over and over again, and you keep getting on the news, and the paper keeps taking pictures. And so we kind of try to tell customers that, hey, if you guys could have some other, you know, things, we'll keep showing up at your business. And also one of the things that really does well is to do little charity events and giveaways to help, you know, the less fortunate. And then we put you in the paper or put you on TV for those things as well. So you get a lot of publicity, free publicity that way as well. And so those are little hints. Don't tell everybody I told you. So also, once again, I told you about scheduling the events and then continue to update us. We all do great with emails because of the fact that we can print them out and we put them up on our board. If you call us, we'll forget. We just do. We always forget. And I can tell you, I know everybody else in the business, and we're like, yeah, emails are great. It also helps us and we keep it on Facebook if you let us know about the events, because Ryan does a little Facebook here, and if you send us the events, we send it to him, and he does all that stuff and puts it up there. And we have over 5,000 followers.
6,000.
We have 6,000 followers on Facebook, and it's one of the biggest Facebooks here in town. And everybody's very interactive with it, and we put up all our news stories on Facebook and all the events, and Ryan's super interactive, and it's amazing. Especially in this day and age with social media. One of the things that we are really proud of is our interaction with the community here. And you can also sponsor news pieces in our news, which sometimes, well, you have different price ranges. He'll tell you all about it if you guys are interested. But you, from very reasonable to a little more expensive, depending on what you want to do. Also, they can put little commercial things on the website, or little flags, what do you call them? Little banners and stuff on the websites too as well. That's why I brought him. And so, let me see.
TV, you don't pay extra for that.
All right. One of the biggest things I hear from the public when I talk to them, because I figure I have a lot of interaction with the public. That's one of the things I really enjoy the most. Is I would not change it for the world. Is having an interaction with the public, going out and meeting people, and seeing them in person. One of the things that I hear most from them about businesses and about reputations of businesses is people being personable and honest. It has a huge impact if you're friendly and personable with the public. Just ask them about themselves. It's something that Pahrump is known for, is how friendly we are and everything. I used to dread going to the store because I would be looking at a product and everybody would come up and tell me their opinion about it. I'd be going, yeah, stay out of my business kind of thing. And then now I'm like looking around like, can you guys tell me about this? Where's the guy that's always here in the store? There he is. Carlton, he worked at Walmart. But I'd be looking, and then now I depend on it. I depend on my neighbors telling me things, and people love that. People love personable stuff. And my mom used to always brag that when I went to the post office, people talk forever. Well, you were sitting there waiting in line, yeah, but it's something about Pahrump, you know? We're friendly to each other, and it makes a big difference to people in business. And to know that you have a fair price, quality product as well. Like KPVM TV and SMG. I said it first. So for more information, call 727-9400. All right. Julie wanted me to talk about some of my more memorable interviews. I tried to go through my head. I meet so many, let me brag. I've met so many famous people. It's unbelievable. No, I have, but at the top of my head, I came up with some today where I was trying to do the news. So I will read some of these to you. Nothing is sadder than seeing your friends and neighbors deal with tragedy in their lives. And many times I've pulled up to accidents and it turns out to be somebody I know. And horribly enough, something has happened to them. And I cannot tell you about the one incident on February 9th, 2010, when the Knight County Dispatch had a search fire in Prospector. And she could hear the person breathing on the phone, and then she couldn't hear him anymore. So the firefighters were coming out of the home with baby after baby. And babies I knew at that time were dead. And there was 3 of them. And then an old friend of mine and a former co-worker ran up, and I realized that these were his children. It was very sad. And then right after that, we went to the side of the house, and they pulled out another body. And we realized that she had died too. And I looked at Horace, who is my longtime friend from Pahrump Valley Times, and I said, we have 4 people dead. This is horrible. And I remember a firefighter looking up and shaking his head. I also remember hearing a 12-year-old boy that was just shot, and he may be still breathing. But they came out with a thing and said that he didn't make it. But those are some of the tragedies that I've had to deal with. Other, sad things I'm not going to go into because it's too depressing now. All right, so but some of these incidents, and just like those ones I mentioned, the people come up to the station and they talk to me, and I talk to them, and a lot of times they want pictures of what went on. And like in the Prospector fire, the families wanted to see their loved ones and see what condition their bodies were in. So I give them